You picked customer, viewer, subscriber. You picked a great donor piece here. This is going to be good. Let's go take a look. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been with us for any length of time, you know what this means. It's carburetor time once again, and probably one of my most favoriteest carbs to work on. Now, this isn't your average bring it off of a junker we got parked outside and make it run. This was somebody that reached out. I think he's a subscriber, and thanks very much for, first of all, watching our stuff, and second of all, trusting us to fix your stuff. So I was contacted by this gentleman, and he says, can you rebuild a Motorcraft 2150 for me? I said, I sure can. One of my favorite carburetors. The 2100, the 2150, those are great little 2-barrel carburetors. You can adapt them to a wide variety of stuff and things to make them run better. This particular carburetor is going on a Jeep, so you know there's two pluses. So first of all, we got to get this out of the box. If you watched, and hopefully this gentleman watched, but if you haven't, go back and watch the video. We'll put it up here. The carb swap on the Jeep, and the attempt to get a Chinese carburetor to run, and then we finally had to give up and go find an actual Motorcraft carburetor because the Chinese one was just so much junk. And so the first thing we're looking at is trying to find, we've got an envelope in here, might have some constructions on it. Okay, got a little note here, tells me he wants to use 47 jets, number 47 jets if possible. So we'll see what we got here. But more than just jetting on these carburetors is you got to have this. He wants to put this on a 4.2 Jeep engine. So the 258, just like what's in our CJ, just like what we worked on in that Wrangler in the video. And in order to make one of these work, you first of all, rather than just jetting, you have to have the right size carburetor for your engine application. And so far we're starting off looking pretty good. Looks like a clean core unit. Lots of nice packing here. And what we got to do is we got to go here. And we have the right one. See, 108 in this circle. That's the Venturi size. They make a 108. I think they make a smaller one maybe, but the two main ones you're going to see are going to be stamped 108 or 121. The 121s came off of like the 351s, the larger engines, 390s, truck engines, that kind of stuff. And those are the ones that you do not want. So we've got accelerator pump. We don't have linkages for choke. Does he want a choke? I wonder. We're missing an idle screw. It has a tag, so we'll be able to look and see exactly what application this came off of. We got mixture screws. We don't have an idle speed screw. We don't have a built-in return spring, which isn't the end of the world. But we have absolutely no choke. It looks like maybe he took that off to send it to us. So we'll verify that. But otherwise, really nice and clean, guys and gals. So that was hurdle number one. This is going to be the perfect carburetor for his Jeep, especially when we're done with it. So let's go ahead and pop this top off, and then in the meantime we'll take that tag number and do a little research. This is a 2150. It has this little, I forget what the technical term for it is. It's kind of an altitude compensator thing here, but it's basically a 2100, and it's gonna work just fine. Let's pop this top off and look at the guts. We'll see what these jets look like. I'm leery of suggesting a jet change or accommodating his request for a certain jet, because, and there's no negative reason about it, the reason I would be leery of messing with the jets in these is I've never had to. Not a single time. You bolt them on and they work. And I don't want to bolt it on and have it not work. I kind of wish it had the choke still on it, just so I could set that up for the guy, but it'll be okay. Let's pop this cover off here. Oh, we gotta get the stem out. I always forget to take the dang air horn stem off. I do like the looks of this core though. Here we go. No big deal, no big deal. Go over there, you go over there. I think this is a Ford gasket number, so that's interesting. Kind of shows some originality. Take that guy off. And we'll take our Venturi assembly. Here's the important piece to this puzzle right here. The overall diameter of these outside Venturis or openings, and more importantly, this setup right here. These are your 108 Venturis. And that's what really makes these things work good on small, that's really clean, small displacement V8s and 6 cylinders. Come on, we can take you out now. I think we're a little sticky here. We should have a rod and a ball. And we do. There it comes. There. All together now. Yeah. We're in good shape. We'll take the float out, the metering rod's out. See there? Let's go ahead and pull one of these main jets, and we'll clean it up and just look and see. It doesn't look like he was even in here and curious on them at all. Well, it ain't a 47, it looks like it's a 60. No, 50. So he asked for 47. It's got 50s in it. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. Yep. So we're just going to proceed with the rebuild and kind of go from there. And I'll talk to the gentleman about the jets, but I'm just going to suggest that right out of the gate, don't mess with them, because it shouldn't need it. It just shouldn't need it, period. This is another area on these where you can run into trouble. Sometimes these little ears will break here. Sometimes these bolts get over tightened, these little machine screws, and get stripped out. This thing really looks unmolested for the most part, and it's the shaft is nice in it. Yeah, that's a good core. So let's do this. We've got it kind of sort of broken down. Let's do kind of a step-by-step. You know, we've done a lot of carb videos, and it always kind of ends up where we do a little bit for you piece by piece, and then we do a little bit with some music montage. Let's break this down. This is going to be unboxing and disassembly of your Motorcraft 2100 2150. So let's get into it. So one of the things we found right away is this little Venturi tube. I pulled out of the bridge here, the Venturi bridge is what I'm going to call it, and was lodged down in its cavity down here. So I think we'll be alright. We'll tippy tap that back in with a little bit of a brass hammer, but it's not going to affect the outcome of this build. It should not. I'm pretty pleased. You picked customer, viewer, subscriber, you picked a great donor piece here. This is going to be good. Let's throw our gaskets up here again. I think this is Ford. I don't think anybody's been in here. Our throttle plates are a little rusty, so we'll go ahead and take those out. Is that an AC brand? AC Doco brand fuel filter on it? That's interesting. And it's tight. Let's get an actual wrench. I was just looking on the Napa Valley site the other day because my stocks are depleted on these little fuel filters, so we'll get some of those coming. Another sign when you're working on one of these older carburetors that indicate that it hasn't been messed with yet is your needle and seat and fuel inlet. If it's a standard size like this one I just picked up, the old 3/8, and it went right on. The newer kits, a lot of times these will be 10 millimeter, and that's one way of knowing that somebody's been through this guy before. All kinds of fuel cleaning going on here. We've got a screen at the inlet, and then we've also got a screen before the fuel goes through the metering assembly, so that's cool. And then you have another indication is you have the little dam. Now these come in most of the kits, but a lot of guys and gals don't put them in, and what this does is it sits down in here and it doesn't let the fuel splash from the fuel inlet affect the float level and things, and doesn't let your fuel get so aerated up. So that's basically the top parts. Let's go here. We'll take our accelerator pump out. It's actually moving, so that's good. These screws are not over tight. We're not pulling out any aluminum with them, so they're in great shape. Go a little knock knock. And we should be able to pull him off of that stem. There's a two-piece stem. There's this piece that goes through the opening in the cap, and then there's a stem on the accelerator pump itself. And then we rotate this up. Now this arm for the accelerator pump has 3 holes in it. Let me make sure you can see this. 3 holes. Usually for a normal everyday average driving, we use the middle one. And then if you want a lot more fun or you need more fuel, use top, and if you want to be more conservative, bottom. This one's in the bottom now, so we're just going to note that, and we'll let the customer, that's one of the things that our customer can fiddle with. Rather than changing jet size, he can use that to manipulate how much fuel he gets to make his Jeep happy. Now, okay, this accelerator pump has a spring in it, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Whew, it's stuck. Okay, didn't go too far. We got her, it's okay. Small end goes on here, big end goes down here. Sprungy. We're just fine, we're all right. No catastrophes, but we are pretty, yeah, we're pretty hard, and we expect that. No big deal. This little C-clip here will slide out. In fact, we can do that right now. Push down on that spring on that side a little bit. It just comes right off. And then that's our top springy. Big end down here, little end up here. So big end down, like Christmas tree stacking. And the bigger one goes underneath. So there's our accelerator pump. Now we can get our little, the little flapper nubbin stayed in there. Usually don't do that. We can get it from this side. There we go. That goes in the trash pile. Now let's pull idle air mixture screws. I'm gonna say, because this looks so virginal, that we're not going to be too out of whack here. So let's go in and count first, and then we'll come back. 1/2, 1, 1/2, 3/4. I mean, did I call it? I kind of called it. So 1 3/4 there, not out of bounds. Screw looks really good. Spring's in good shape, all that good stuff. How about the left side? 1/2, 1, 1/2, 1 1/2 there. So life is pretty good. Nobody has done any major tomfoolery with this thing. That's what you like to see. By the way, when you're looking for these cores, wander around in the old, if you go to the U-Pullets, or you have your favorite junkyard that lets you pull it, you wander around in the 70s and 80s Fords and look for something with a 302, and if it's got a 2-barrel on it, yeah, these are getting a little more difficult to find nowadays. Here's our bowl below the power valve. It's nice and clean, a little bit of scuzzy in there, but nothing horrible. And that gasket goes away. power valve would come out. And we've got a full circle gasket on that. You'll either have the full circle, or do we? Nope, we don't. Here, I'll show you. We've got a space here, a space here, and a space here. So you either have a full circle or you'll have a gasket with a cutout on 3 edges. Just use the same gasket that you took out when you're going back together. And just like that, the core of this carburetor is broken down as much as I usually break them down. Now, I want these throttle plates out of here so we can clean them up a little bit. Not because they won't work like this. I mean, they'll kind of disrupt the flow of air that passes over them, but mostly I want them to look better. So those are coming out. Sorry about that. I couldn't find my specialty socket for these. The heads of these little screws, I believe they're supposed to be 3/16, but because of the way the screw head, the machine screw head is shaped, the 3/16 sockets roll over that little shoulder and they don't grip. So I've got, what I have found is I've actually got an old Chinesium about as small as you can get, 4.5 millimeter, and it hits just a little more snug. And then I ground down, usually in a socket you'll have that little shoulder, inverted shoulder, and I ground that down so it goes flat down on there and catches those screws nice and snug, and then they'll come out. There we go. Because if you strip one of those dudes, you're a little bit hosed. We can pull them out. Yeah, see, they're just crusty. We don't want to send something back to the customer all crusty like that. Well, let's take the nut off of our main throttle shaft here. That's a 3/8. And then we've also got a retainer clip. Maybe we didn't need to take the nut off. I think we did though. No, we didn't. And then all this slides out. And you got a little weight here that stays. And it rides on this little cam right here. So little weight in the middle helps move those guys, and he's got to come out all by himself. A lot, you got to remember. I'll put this guy back in. Otherwise our bore feels really nice. We've got a little bit of a bushing here. It's in good shape. We'll clean it up. Yeah, I like it. Really good core. Really good core. Looks like he took off the dash pot maybe for the fast idle 2 or something over here. Some of them had a little electric dash pot. I used mine on my Jeep. I have it wired up just to a toggle switch, and when I'm winching and using a lot of battery, I can use that dash pot to idle it up, or when I start it cold, I'll activate that dash pot and it brings the idle up to about 1,000 RPM just so it warms up faster, or charges the battery if I'm winching. This thing's got a, oh, we got to take the metering rods out of here. Here again we've got the springy, and our little retainer clip comes out. Now it's a different size than the other one that's over here from the jeez Louise, I keep losing these springs. Not losing them, but they keep jumping out. There's our spring. Here comes our metering rod assembly. It's in good shape. That'll go into the cleaner together. Venturis are in good shape. Now that we have this kind of broken down, we're going to take a brass hammer and just tippy tap those tubes back in. That's all we need. It'll be happy. Alright, into the Berrymans, and that's going to end this video of disassembly of a Motorcraft 2100/2150. This is a good core. Again, what you're looking for a small displacement Jeep engine, small V8. You want that 108 stamp on the side of the box. That refers to the Venturi size, which means this is going to love anything from about 250 to 310 cubic inches or so. V8, 6-cylinder, doesn't matter. It's going to run good. And for a Jeep 6-cylinder, this thing's going to run good right out of the box when he gets it back. I can just about guarantee it. Alright, we're going to clean this up a little bit in the parts washer, get the big pieces off, get it in the Berrymans. Thanks for watching this one. Hopefully, you know, if you like these little more detailed, you know, series type videos on something like a car build, comment. We'll try this one this way, and if you like to just kind of see them, you know, the intricate parts touched on and then the rest of it time lapsed, we'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.